Onto the super gluing process, I'll just super glue the bolts in. So this is pretty straightforward. Super glue, but I use tape to hold them all in place so I can just glue them all in at once. Get strips of tape and just put it to the side so I've got them ready. Just tearing them off and then just attaching to temporary area. Get super glue. So large bolts go to the gauntlet that goes next to the elbow, and the smaller bolts go onto the wrist side. Now there's only one bolt that we cannot super glue in, which is this one, because we actually put real bolts on this side, and if we glue this on we wouldn't be able to screw those bolts in, so I'll leave one not glued in. Now I do use quite a bit of an excess super glue because I want to make sure it goes and touches the sides of the bolt as well. As in the bevel itself. So see, we've got one on, but then we put this tape on, stretch it so it pulls towards itself, towards the back and the gauntlet. Make sure it's at the right angle. Looks good. Move on. If there's a bit too much, I'm gonna use a cotton bud just to get rid of excess. Like that, that's a bit too much. So I'm gonna get some cotton bud. And then bend the cotton bud. Because you don't want to reuse where you had super glue on. Make sure the angle is correct before you squish it down. A bit of excess there as well. And as I'm using this cotton bud, I'm rotating it so it doesn't smear it. It rather picks up the super glue. You see the way I clamped the tape? That is just to give it an extra pull, bit of pull. Cotton bud, too much squish. Which at least lets me know that the bolt is touching most of the cavity, which is a good sign of it connecting well. Just choosing my angles. That looks about right. Nope, off. This one wobbles a bit. Looks good. Remember, we're using the big bolts for the larger gauntlet, which goes on the elbow side. Sorry if I go out of frame sometime. See, that's a bit off the angle here. This looks fine, this looks... No, these are a bit off. Okay, that'll do. Just pull this a bit to release the tension on this side and pull it more towards that side. That'll do. So remember, we're not doing this side. Oh, I need more strips. So 4 strips. It's a bit short actually. Which one did I just put glue on there? Okay. That is the sound of my cat running around. And this one's going to be a bit short, this strip of tape, but that's about enough. Oh, and did I rip it? Or just pull it? Just pulled it, I think. Didn't rip it. Looks good, the angle. I'm going to readjust the angle for all of them after I do this last one. Okay, that angle looks about good. Yep. No, it's not. There we go. Okay, so let's adjust all of them, and we're going to leave this to dry. So the angle is what we're looking at from the side, and then, oh, see, that's why we'll off this one. Off as well. That's good. That's good. And then we look from above as well to make sure it is at the right angle. Yeah, they look good. One last time. Yep, right, let's leave that and move on to the small wrist side gauntlet. So this one is a bit more straightforward. We glue on every single one of them. As you get all the strips in one go. That's 5, 6, 7, and 8. So remember, that's the large one that we keep for the gauntlet side that's on the elbow side. This is, we're using the smaller bolts for this side. Pick your angles. Sorry, I'm being a bit picky. Yep, that looks good. Bit excess. And there's quite a lot of excess here actually. Oh, actually it's not in the right position. I'm gonna undo that. Because I see there's a little gap. And I do not want gaps. Oh, bit of a pain. Damn it. See, I can see a little gap there. This side. Yeah, you should be able to see it. I don't want that. Yeah, that's why, because the thread starts around there. This one's a bit annoying. What am I doing wrong with this? just align it. Why does it look a bit off? You know what, let me get another bolt. Oh my god. Oh, super glue on my fingers. See if one side is tilting the wrong way, just readjust the tapes. When the glue does dry though, it dries really hard, so the parts fuse together. So I'm not worried about that, because it's not like we're gluing on top of paint or putty. This is PETG to PETG, direct. Just the prep is key. Make sure you're looking at the right directions, angles. Three bolts left. Getting there. Oh crap. I need another one here. Got the angle a bit wrong with the tape. Oh, I'm out of tape. Let's just do this one first, because it's slightly shifting that way. Right, I'm going to get more tape quickly. I'll need one more strip. Okay. Way too much super glue. Just trying to get rid of that gap. Why is there a gap there? That'll do. Yep. Yeah, that looks great. Okay, and now just look at all the other angles, other bolts. That looks great. I'm just going to give it a double check for the previous one. Well, because this one's gone loose. What's happened here? But it's already good, actually. It's fine. Yeah, it looks great. Right, just leave it at that. So I'm going to give it around 24 hours to cure, because they need to be hard before we spray paint. Okay, so yeah, that's that for this step, at least, with just the one bolt not screwed in for this one. Time to remove the tapes. You can just cut them off if you want to make it faster. So you don't have to search for the seam where the tape is. Much quicker. Okay, so now we've got the tape removed. Now we can just do a bit of touch-ups, get a bit of sandpaper, and see if there's any super glue residue around the corners where they were glued. Don't need to do much. And I usually use putty just to fill in any gaps, but this print came out really good, so I don't even think I'll need to do that. Where's my high grit sandpaper? So let's look at that. Got a bit of super glue here that was pouring down, that was seeping through. Okay, that's good. So for this, I think I'll just go straight to paint after I do this. Actually, I'm gonna do a bit of what's it called? I'm gonna use the lighter on the bolts more, because the bolts weren't really processed. You can see they got a bit of stringing on them still. Besides, these gauntlets are supposed to look quite rough, so that's why I'm gonna skip. That's another reason why I'm gonna skip the putty for this. It's supposed to look a bit rough. Let's do one side at a time, actually. But yeah, I can tell that the bolts are glued on tight now. Yeah, there barely needs anything done here. Let's do this one as well. So for this one, I didn't use the metal rod. I just used filament for this one, for this piece. Right, let's do some this. Oh man, I need new lighters. These are fucked. Like this one won't even turn on. Can't find my other lighter, and this one, the It's such a small flame. It shouldn't be that small. Don't think I have another light to do it. I'm gonna look around quickly. Yeah, I can't find anything better, so I'm just gonna use this lighter. So I'm just gonna do the bolts. Let's do one side and then I'll flip it around and do the other side. Flip it around with this super small flame. Remember, this is PETG I'm using as well, so it's not PLA, so it takes a longer time for it to melt. And I'm not doing to melt this, I'm just doing it to get rid of any excess fraying, stringing, any air, anything that we don't want on them to appear. For some reason the flame has grown. Flip it around. That's a nicer flame. Actually, so I do have 2 more gauntlets that I made, and I thought, you know what, before I actually do the burning of the stringing, I think it's better to use a high grit sandpaper and just do each bolt like that. Just gently, don't twist them because they are super glued on. Just a few turns. Just check them over each. It's very quick, it's a bit anal, but shit, just to make sure there's no excess plastic stuck on anywhere on the bolt. Yeah, and only then burn it off. You get the idea. Actually, that should have been... It's a bit too loose, actually, that. Maybe I shouldn't have drilled that. Yeah, because if I can do that with my hand, that's not very good. Shouldn't be able to. Huh, I got a bit of a... It's quite hard to fit that in here, actually. Yeah, that is kind of blocking it. And I think I'm going to need a really wide hole on the other side, especially when this is kind of causing a tilt. Easy. Nice.